Rebel Moon and Zack Snyder. All right. So we have some more things. Again, like when it came to Gamescom and him talking about Rebel Moon in the trailer. I love that, again, that it wasn't all just coming at us in one shot. It's being peppered out. And that's the way to do good marketing right there. First off, we're going to have Zack talking about the comments when it came to Rebel Moon right here.
Hey guys, Zack Snyder, director of Rebel Moon. We're gonna go through a couple comments, people who saw the trailer, see what they have to say. This says, dude, this looks so fire. I guess a cool, youthful way of saying that looks cool. Looks like someone's going for some like production design nominations. That would be cool. So I don't know if you guys know anyone. Put in a good word at the Academy. Mexico, always love Mexico. Says Zack is on another level. I wonder what level that is. I hope that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Here's some comments from the USA. Freaking awesome. It's always cool. If you get extravaganza in a sentence, you've done well, in my opinion. Get that, Zack. The level of Zack's visuals and cinematography. I shot the movie as well. I don't know if everyone knows that, but thought I would continue my duties as a cinematographer. I had a really great time shooting it. One more from Brazil. Seems like this trailer has all the signature Snyder stuff in it.
Hell yeah.
I can't help myself. You know, if there's an opportunity for a little slow-mo, I'm not going to pass it up. So thank you guys. This was really fun.
So that's cool. So we had that right there. And then we had some more. And then they talked about this. Zack Snyder confirms Rebel Moon logo is inspired by heavy metal. We've already talked about that, the heavy metal logo. We already talked about that last week, but you could kind of see the similarities. The first Rebel Moon logo we got was pretty cool because it was more like you had the blue, like, like laser. I don't know. It was like, it was different, but this one is more heavily inspired by heavy metal, which makes sense. Zack and Debbie both know the magazine is for sale. An acquisition by Zack could lead to heavy metal magazines set in the Rebel Moon universe. Bang Zoom! Animation Studio teases a top secret Zack Snyder project. The Zack Snyder was in the house cooking up a secret project at BZ. And he left his mark with a selfie in our lobby. We are excited to share with you what's in store. Thanks, Zack, for visiting our studio. What's that gonna be? I'm intrigued. Gotta love that. We're still kind of wondering, like, when it comes to, of course, the other animation that's going to be coming out, Las Vegas and Twilight of the Gods. So that's pretty interesting. And speaking of things when it comes to Easter eggs and Army of the Dead and Twilight of the Gods, it says right here, Zack Snyder teases an Army of the Dead Easter egg in Rebel Moon. Most curious was his mention of an Easter egg relating to Army of the Dead hidden in a scene in Rebel Moon, one which not only dives deep into the lore of Army of the Dead, but hints at a potential Zack Snyder multiverse. There it is. There it is. We all suspected. We've talked about this. We talked about how it's all connected. The Snyderverse at Netflix could be all connected with each other. There was always a suspicion that was going to be the case. Here's another quote right here. I think it's an experience of my relationship to the fans of the movies that I've made is that they're always seeing my cuts as like, okay, what's that? What am I going to learn in there? In those Easter eggs and come at Easter time? What will those references, what will be those references? Should Rebel Moon take off in fashion as big as Star Wars did, we may not be looking at further installments set just in the movie's world, but the entirety of Snyder's original filmography could become fair game for future stories. So hype levels way up there. And then, of course, talking about shots of the trailer right here a little bit with Zack.
Hey guys, it's Zack Snyder, director of Rebel Moon. We're going to go through a couple shots from the trailer. In this scene, General Titus telling a story of something that happened to him in the past where he turned his forces against the forces of the Motherworld because he was instructed to do something that went against his morals as a general and as a soldier. He wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it.
The king rallying this new class of cadets who are about to go off to one of the many conflicts that the mother world has raging in the universe. And in it, we see Sophia, and she's been given her commission. She says the mother world always encouraged them to take a lover so that when the sort of politics of the combat became too abstract, they would fight for the person next to them. But of course, that doesn't work out well.
Doesn't look like
This is Tarek taming the Bennu, who is a creature
Bennu.
from Tarek's native world called New Wadi. The rancher there has a Bennu that no one can ride. Tarek, he has experience with these creatures. He's able to do a little bit of a horse whisperer vibe with it, calm it down and ride it.
How to train your Bennu.
We have this Duna Bay sequence, come to meet Hermata, and they do battle in the sort of mines of Dagus, which is one of the planets Dagus that our heroes visit. If you notice, her arms are like these gauntlets, but they're actually, the sword's like metal, heats up, and you can't hold them if you just have your normal hands, they'll just burn your hand off. So she has committed to using these swords by cutting her arms off, and she is able to use the swords.
So freaking cool. I mean, talk about just like, okay, can't do lightsabers, so do something like that where she cuts her arms off to have the gauntlets. I mean, we already kind of talked about that, but man, it's just so cool the way that, cannot even wait to see.
Hey guys, it's Zack Snyder, director of Rebel Moon.